Hi everyone, I am Abhishek and today we are going to discuss the concept of banking. Firstly, the word bank you might have heard many times and you might have seen also many banks. You might have gone along with your parents to some bank, and you may be knowing that primarily banks are related with money. So, if you know all these things, today we are going to discuss some other things also regarding that. Firstly, what are the two most important functions a bank performs with the money? The thing is, the bank can lend money to any person. If any person is in need of money, the bank may allow to give some money to that person. The other thing which bank may do is that it can safeguard the money of any other person. Suppose I am having excess money, then what I can do is that I can go to the bank and submit it in the bank, and bank can give me a guarantee that my money is safe over there in the bank. So there are primarily two functions of the bank. The bank can accept money or the bank can give away money. So these are the two basic functions the bank can perform. Now based on this we have the concept of banking. Now, as I told you, there are primarily two functions of the bank. Now, based on these two functions, the bank may offer different type of accounts to individuals. The first type of account which a bank may offer to any individual is a savings bank account. Now, savings bank account is an account in which any person, suppose I am a person and I am earning some money, and what I can do is that I can just spend some money and then I can save also some money. Whatever money I can save, I can deposit that in the bank, because if I keep money at my home and some thieves or robbers come and they can rob me of all my money. But if I submit my money in the bank, if I deposit my money in the bank, then I do not have that kind of fear, because bank gives me guarantee that my money is safe there in the bank. So first is the savings bank account. In savings bank account, any person can deposit money anytime, and you can take away your money also at any time, whichever time you feel comfortable. You can take away money also. If you are in need of your money, then you can take away your money from the bank. Now normally in savings bank account, the bank offers some kind of rate of interest also. So normally this rate of interest lies between 3 to 6% per annum. Per annum means per year. I get around 3%, 4%. It varies from bank to bank, but normally it is between 3 to 6% per annum. The other type of account, there are actually many other types of accounts which a bank can offer. Bank may offer current account also. Current account is an account in which there is convenience of banking. Any amount of money you can deposit, take away money anytime. So many transactions you can do in a day also. There is some restriction on savings bank account, but in current account there are no restrictions. Now current account does not give any interest also. In current account, bank does not give any interest. Now another type of account which a bank offers is recurring deposit account. Now we will just discuss this also. We are primarily going to discuss these two only, savings account and recurring deposit account, because these two are there in the syllabus for us. So, recurring deposit account is an account, as the name is suggesting over here, recur. Recur means to occur again and again. So therefore, recurring deposit means again and again I have to deposit some amount of money. So in this case, let us say if I have a fixed salary and I save every month 500 rupees, so I can deposit every month 500 rupees in the bank. So every month I have to deposit the same amount. The same amount will be repeated again and again. So if I do that, I can open a recurring deposit account in the bank. I can say that I open recurring deposit account of 500 rupees per month. So therefore what happens? Every month I go there to the bank and I deposit 500 rupees in the bank. So such type of account is called as recurring deposit account. There is a limitation over here that every month I have to deposit 500 rupees in the bank. Then only I will get proper then only I will get proper interest from the bank. Whatever the bank has promised, it will give me in return. So this recurring deposit account is normally for a fixed duration, like for 1 year or 2 year or let us say 18 months. So there is a fixed duration of this recurring deposit account. Bank says that you give us this much money every month and in return we are going to offer you this much. Now why this type of account is popular? Because it offers a rate of interest which is typically more than the savings bank account. If you have a recurring, I can say that if I save every month 500 rupees, I can deposit in savings also. Why to open this recurring deposit account? Now this account is opened because it offers a rate of interest which is higher than of savings account. And in this type of account, you cannot take out your money you cannot take out your money before the fixed duration. If you have 18 months recurring deposit account, you can get your money after 18 months only. There are other types of accounts also. For example, an FD account or fixed deposit account. You give some money to the bank, it remains there for a fixed duration, and after that duration you get your money and you get the interest which the bank tells you that it is going to give you that much. So we are going to discuss these two types of accounts. Now in this video we will firstly talk only about savings bank account. We are not going to discuss recurring deposit account anymore in this video. We are just going to discuss about savings bank account. Now here firstly, for any savings bank account, we will see how interest is calculated for any savings bank account. How interest is calculated? For calculating this interest, first we have to see what is the principal, and the basic formula which we will use over here, it is the same which we used in earlier chapters or in earlier classes. I is equal to PRT upon 100. We are going to use this formula for calculating interest for savings bank account, but we need to know what is the principal. So this is the third point, which amount will be taken as principal, because there are so many transactions which may happen in a savings bank account. So if many transactions are happening and amount of money is varying, then which money will be taken, which amount of money will be taken as principal, that we will see now. So I am just erasing these 2 points, we do not need them now. Let us take any example. One more thing, for savings bank account you also get a passbook from the bank. Now a passbook is a type of statement which tells you how much money was deposited in the account, how much money was taken away from the account. It is a record which the bank gives you, and your transactions, whatever transactions you do, your transactions are recorded in the passbook. A passbook may have many columns. For example, I am just trying to show you over here how the columns are there in the passbook. Firstly, there will be a column for date, then there will be some kind of particulars, then there will be the amount of money which is debited. Now debit means to take away from your account. So if you withdraw some money from your account, that will be debit, that will come under this heading. Then amount of money which is credited to your account. Credited means it is deposited in the account. And then after that you finally will have a column for balance also. Now balance means how much money is there in your account. Just to give you an idea, let us say that on the 1st of January I took away some money from my account. Let us say that I took away 2000 rupees from my account. No money was credited, and balance in my account, it came out as 3000. So that means that this 2000 rupees were taken away and still I have 3000 rupees in the bank. So that means the amount of money which was there earlier would have been 5000. So 2000 rupees were taken away and then I get the balance as 3000. Now I have already told you that we have taken away 2000 rupees from here and we still have 3000 rupees as balance. Now what to put in this column of particulars? If I took away 2000 rupees from the account, there has to be some means of doing this. For example, suppose I may issue a check to some other person of 2000 rupees. That person goes to the bank, he deposits the check and he takes away 2000 rupees from my account. So here in particulars we can mention this thing that this much amount of money was taken by check. So we can see that now all these 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these 5 columns, we know what to do over here. Let us say that on the 8th of Jan, I did another transaction. I deposited 3000 rupees in the bank. Now here again I can give some particulars that I deposited that by cash. So if I deposited some cash of 3000 rupees in the bank, now I already had 3000 rupees earlier in the bank and again I am depositing 3000. So as you can easily tell me that this balance over here should be now 6000. So now total balance in the bank is going to be 6000. So this is the type of entries which you get in the passbook. Now from these entries, how to calculate the principal, that we will see now. As I told you earlier that interest in a savings bank account is calculated according to the formula I is equal to PRT upon 100. So in this case, firstly, what is this P or the principal? How to get the principal for any savings bank account? Now I am trying to show you over here a page from the passbook, and from this page we will try calculating what is the principal. If we want to calculate the principal for the month of July and for the month of August, we will see over here what kind of principal do we get. Now there is kind of a formula for calculating this principal. It says that you find out what is the minimum balance in the savings bank account between the 10th day of the month and the last day of the month. Now just to update you regarding this is an outdated formula. This formula nowadays is not applicable to the banks. Nowadays banks calculate interest for each day. They don't calculate for each month, but this was done around 3 or 4 years ago. This was the formula which the banks were following. So we are still learning the same thing, but this is a little outdated. So let us come back to this. As I told you that if we want to calculate principal, first we check that for any particular month, what is the minimum balance between the 10th day of the month and the last day of the month, both days inclusive. Whatever will be the minimum balance, that will be considered as the principal for that month. So let us come to this data now. If we see over here, for the 1st of July 2012, I am showing you this for 2012. So 1st of July 2012, particulars here is B/F. Now this B/F over here means brought forward. Brought forward means it is brought forward from the previous month only. Whatever was the balance in June, the same balance will be carried over on the 1st of July. So here it is 4000 rupees. So this is brought forward from the previous month. So it is this. Now on the 8th of July we can see over here that there is an amount deposited which is 3000 rupees. So if I deposit 3000 and I already have 4000 in the bank, so now I will have 7000. So this 7000 will be considered as the new balance in my bank account. Now after that, if I see over here, the next date is 20th of July, and on the 20th of July 2000 rupees is being withdrawn. So if out of 7000 I take away 2000, I will be left over here with an amount of money which will be 5000 rupees. So this 5000 rupees will be the balance after taking away 2000 rupees. Again on the 3rd of August, what I am doing is that I am depositing actually 1000 rupees in the bank account. So if I deposit 1000 rupees in the bank account, now my balance will become 6000. And again on the 9th of August I am depositing 500, so therefore again this will become 6500 rupees in the bank. So these are all the balances. I hope you understand how these balances are being calculated over here. It is according to whether the money is deposited or withdrawn. Now I have not written here particulars. So particulars anything, like suppose I am depositing money, so I can deposit by check or by cash. So let us say I am depositing by cash this thing. Withdrawn, so let us say it was withdrawn using a check. So I can write like this. And then here particulars are not very important as far as the mathematical part of it is concerned. We are only concerned for these 3 columns. These 3 columns are the main ones, and 4th column is the date which we have to check on which date these transactions were done. Particulars as such, they are not playing a very important part over here, so I am not stressing on this. So here now I have already showed you the balance, so let us try finding out what is the principal for the month of July, because I need to calculate principal for each month. So let us say that the amount which qualifies as principal amount qualifying as principal for the month of July. Let us see what is that. As I told you earlier, the formula says this thing: find out minimum balance between the 10th day of the month and the last day of the month. So if I see over here in July, on the 20th of July, I did one transaction. I had withdrawn 2000 rupees and now the balance has become 5000. So if I see 20 is lying between 10 and 31. 31st will be the last day of the month July, and 10th we have to check between the 10th and the 31st. So if I check on the 20th, the balance is becoming 5000 rupees. Before that the balance was 7000. So I see over here that between the 10th, from the 10th up to the 20th, the balance would be 7000 because it became 7000 on 8th. So from the 8th up to 20th it was 7000. After 20th the balance is going to remain 5000 up to the 31st. So between the 10th and the 31st, we can see that the minimum balance in the bank is going to be 5000. So therefore the amount which qualifies as principal will be 5000 rupees for July. Now the same thing I need to do for August also. So if I check out for this month August, I see 3rd of August the balance becomes 6000. On the 9th of August again I am depositing money in the bank. This becomes 6500. So after this there is no further transaction in the month of August. So that means after 9th up to the last day of the month, the balance in the bank account is going to be 6500 only. So therefore I can say that the amount which qualifies as principal for the month of August, it will be rupees 6500. Why 6500? Because we know this thing that from the 10th up to the last day of the month, the amount which is there in the bank will be 6500 only. If suppose I did any transaction, let us say if I am doing any transaction, let us say on the 30th of August, I withdraw some money from the bank. Let us say I withdraw 2500 rupees. So if I withdraw this much, balance was 6500. If I withdraw 2500, then I will be left with 4000 rupees. So therefore here if I see now the minimum balance between the 10th and the last day of the month, August is again of 31 days. So here between 10th and the 31st the minimum balance will be 4000 rupees, because on the 30th and on the 31st the amount of money which will be there in the bank is going to be 4000. We have to check the minimum amount of money. So again if I do this transaction, then my principal is going to change. So now my principal here, it will become 4000. So now the amount qualifying as principal for July is 5000. Amount qualifying as principal for August is 4000. If I need to calculate interest for these 2 months, then what I do over here, I will need to add up these two principals and put that amount over here as principal. Rate will be given for any particular question. Like here suppose I take this example, let us say that rate in this case is 6%. Now time for any banking, savings bank account problem, any problem, the time will always be taken as 1 month, because we are calculating principals for each month. Therefore time is always going to be taken as 1 month. 1 month can also be written as 1/12 of a year. So therefore T will be 1/12 year. So T will be 1/12. R we are taking as 6%. And now if I want to calculate interest, then for calculating interest, I firstly add up these two. So if I add up these two, then the principal here will become 9000. If I want to calculate interest for these 2 months, then I'll put over here 9000 into rate. Rate is 6. Time is 1/12. So I put over here 12 into 100. Now if I just calculate this, this will be 2 times and this is going to give me 4500. Again over here these two zeros will get cancelled out. So therefore I will get the interest over here as 45 rupees. This is how we can calculate interest for any savings bank account problem. Firstly we find out the principal for each month. After adding up these principles, we will get a principle which we can put in this formula. As I told you, rate will be given in the question and time will always be taken as 1 by 12. Why 1 by 12? Because we are calculating principles for each month and 1 month becomes 1 by 12th of a year. So therefore, this is all for savings bank account. I hope you have understood this and you do well in savings bank account. Thank you very much.